Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Miasin. Welcome to this Cyber Dragon OTK deck profile post-ban list, but with actual cards available to us. So without, future cards with Cyber style structure deck. Don't worry though, because I will be updating this as soon as we get more Cyber style cards confirmed. If you actually saw my prediction video, I was actually, well, it was a pretty accurate one, because the first time I made it, it was exactly what ended up happening. I said 3 new cards were going to get announced, and it was going to be like mid-March, and that's exactly what ended up happening. So my prediction for the future was going to be that we're going to get the second wave of support in mid-April-ish, or maybe early April, and then the third and final one will be early May. And the reason for that is because the structure deck is actually going to be, going into the OCG in mid-May. Actually, it's going to be exactly May 15th, so yeah. Anyways, I think this deck is really nice. It's really fun. You obviously get to OTK with really juicy cards like Chaos Dragon Levineer and Machine Duplication. And you don't play Dark Ruler, you play Forbidden Drop instead. But don't worry, because I'm going to explain everything in detail. And before we start, man, friendly reminder to like and subscribe. Would help me out a lot. And let's get right into it. So I'm playing the 3 best cards in the entire game. You actually love drawing these cards because, obviously if you draw them, you're late behind. They're really bad. Yeah, I mean, they're really bad. All right, Jizu Kiru. Yeah, sure. You can search this with Cyber Repair Plant, which is searchable by core, which is searchable by emergency, which is searchable by overflow when it's destroyed by a card effect. And the way you can do that is by actually destroying it with Levineer. So there's actually a really interesting combo, especially if you're, on turn 3 and you on turn 3, if you have like a Levineer in your hand and like a set overflow with a bunch of side draws in your graveyard, you can summon the Levineer and then try to destroy your overflow, and then it doesn't target, and then you chain the overflow, you destroy a bunch of cards your opponent controls, and then you destroy the Levineer in the same chain. You're going to search for Cyberload Fusion, and then, this card, and then you're going to fuse from the Banished, make Rampage, and then you're going to be able to pretty much send like Nexture and Hurts, recycle back, and then normal summon, revive back something, make Seeger, and that's already 12,600 damage, and you are able to destroy your entire board. So this deck is pretty good at setting up for future OTKs, but I want to say for OTKing on turn 1, turn 2 technically, your first turn, it's a bit harder because your opponent usually will have a pretty big layer of protection, so yeah, you gotta have to learn how to take a bit more time to OTK. Anyways, 2 Levineer, this is my signature mark, I love it so much. You can contact Fuse and then use Fortress and Levineer to make ding ding ding! Yes, 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 and even without Ding Girsu, this card is still amazing. You can banish 3 lights to revive back a monster from your graveyard. So you can banish whatever, like something, I don't know, 3 lights and then revive back Nexture, revive back Infinity, absorb a monster, and then play from there. Or you can banish like a mix of light and dark, not only, again, always fueling your Cyberload Fusion, but also pretty much destroying cards on the field. Without targeting is just the best thing ever, so beautiful card. 3 Cyber Dragon, you can also play 2 if you don't want to play 3, so it's just up to you. But it's kind of a decent card going second against certain very specific boards. And against Dragoon, this card is actually amazing because, in case you didn't know, if your opponent has Dragoon and Anaconda, if you just have Cyber Dragon and any normal summon that has 1,000 attack or less, except Core, well, you're going to be able to out that Dragoon because you can go special summon Cyber Dragon and then normal summon your monster like an Ash, and then make Mirage, and then contact Fuse the Mirage, the Anaconda on the opponent's extra monster zone with your Cyber Dragon, make a Mega Fleet for 36, and then jump over the Dragoon, which has 3,000, and then on main phase 2, you're pretty much good to go with 4 cards in your hand. So yeah, it's pretty nice. I mean, it's a pretty decent card overall. It's just not really great going first, but this deck has like other plays going first, like Galaxy Soldier with the Red Ice package, so you can still make Dragoon and stuff. And Galaxy Soldier, I would never really try to play 3. I don't think it makes too much sense. So 2 is just absolutely perfect. And then Fear, this card allows you to chain block, but only, I keep repeating myself, only in the TCG. So if you're watching this video and you live in the OCG, don't play this card. 3 Ash and 3 Gamma. So Ash is just being like, it's able to hit a lot of things, especially trap decks, which is kind of like really annoying for you. Like, for example, if they have like Scarlet and Conquistador, you're pretty much shutting down 2 trap cards just with a single hand trap. Whereas if it was something like a DD Crow or Skullmeister or something, it's not really doing much in this context. But for combo decks, Gamma is actually the bomb, and you can use it on your own turn if they ash your emergency, for example, and then you can, I mean, you can't really do that much. You can't even make Anaconda with the driver, but I don't know, it allows you to kind of facilitate some other plays, so definitely down for Gamma. then 3 core with the 1 Nexter, and then 3 Hertz. So I'm never going to be explaining why I play 3 core. 1 Nexter because I don't really like drawing multiples. It's really redundant and it's really bad like early on. So especially, it's kind of like a grind card. So playing it in a deck that's trying to OTK, it just feels like unorganic. And the thing is, you can search it anytime you want, really. So why play more than one? It's not really like you were desperate to see this over anything else. Hertz, however, is pretty good when you're playing Galaxy Soldier and Forbidden Droplet. So actually this has double utility. So definitely play 3 Hertz when you're playing all of those discard outlet cards. Anyways, Overload Fusion with Red Ice Fusion and Cyberload Fusion. You're definitely not trying to draw these guys. Well, Overload maybe a bit more because it's actually more live. Cyberload, you actually kind of need to already have done some other plays before, like banishing cards. So either with Levineer or Overload, or Cybernetic Overflow as a matter of fact. And Red Ice Fusion is just that if you draw it, you can't really normal summon or special this turn. And if it gets Ashed, well, you're completely screwed because Ash would actually negate the effect and not the activation, and this is like during the turn you activate this card, so it's kind of a bummer. RP's Feather Duster. I didn't want to play Lightning Storm because you can kind of have cards on your field, especially like post game 1 with like Nibiru summoning itself, Gamma and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. No, it's not really the most relevant thing, but Lightning Storm just felt a bit weird. I felt like Forbidden Drop was a bit better because, yeah, I mean, you're trying to beat combo decks on game 1, and on game 2 and 3 you can kind of adapt a bit more for spell and trap decks. Well, I mean, back row heavy decks like Eldritch, you can side in like Lightning Storm and Evenly, and that would usually kind of take care of it, so it wouldn't be the end of the world. And then 3 Emergency, 3 Machine Dupe, 1 Repair Plant. I don't get why people would ever try to play 2 or 3 Repair Plant. This card is really bricky. You need a side draw in your graveyard if you want to be able to use this, so yeah, not a big fan. And then 3 Forbidden Drops, so you can actually just negate a bunch of things. When you activate a spell, you can actually chain Forbidden Drops, send the spell, and then send some other monsters, negate a bunch of things in one shot, and it's, you know, even better. And then the 1 Overflow in case you were, like, forced to go first, or in case the game is going to be taking a bit longer than you actually expected, but yeah. Anyways, for the extra deck, for the Contact Fuse Chimera decks, I'm only playing 1 Mega Fleet and 1 Fortress. I think 1 Fortress makes the most sense, but 1 Mega Fleet, it's only because right now there's not that many decks that actually really summon in the extra monster zone that much. And even Dragon Link, they summon in the Hieratic Seal that they just tag out immediately. So against Dragon Link, it's not great. Against Eldritch, it does nothing. And against, I don't know, a bunch of decks that I can think of, it just really doesn't do anything. So Mega Fleet, definitely not that great. Fortress, on the other hand, I guess there is Invoked Merkaba, so that's one thing. If you can actually special summon a Cyber Dragon, because obviously normal core wouldn't actually work. The effect on to search is actually mandatory, and you can't just set a core and then Contact Fuse with Merkaba for Fortress because it stops becoming a Cyber Dragon as soon as it becomes face down. That's just the way Yu-Gi-Oh works. It's not really like the ruling on core, because it's a continuous effects, and continuous effects are only applied when face up. It's not like it was a condition. If we ever get a Cyber Dragon that says this card's name is always treated as Cyber Dragon, it would be absolutely broken because you could also search it from your deck with Hertz, so that would be Happy Land City, but I don't think this is ever going to happen. Not gonna lie, they're always going to create Cyber Dragons that say this is only a Cyber Dragon on the field or graveyard, unfortunately. Anyways, Dragoon, obviously, not going to explain that. Double Rampage because there are 2 ways to make it, either Overload Fusion or Cyberload. Cyberload is searchable by core, and then Overload is searchable, well, sendable with Anaconda, if that makes any sense. And then this is nice. So this, actually, I already featured it in my combo video, the Train package. So Gustav Max and Juggernaut Lebe. It's basically a combo that you do when you have the ability to do so, kind of safely, but there is just almost nothing that you would be doing with this combination of cards anyways, so that's why, you know, it's not really like it would change that much anyways. And then there is also Dingirsu, yeah, because of Levineer and Fortress, but to be fair, it's not really like it comes up that much. As a matter of fact, I want to say that Oradon and also Puzzlomino, I'm actually going to add it right now, actually come up, honestly, way more often, so you could actually just drop it right there and then put it here, and probably cut, I don't know, I want to say probably the second Infinity for the Oradon, because there are some very specific combos that actually, revolve around these cards, actually, these 2 cards, but yeah, and I think one of each is kind of enough, but you can kind of argue that the second Infinity is more important than the second Nova, because you can kind of revive back the Nova with a bunch of cards, and then actually summon Infinity on top, whereas you're rarely making rank 5s, actually, in this deck, you know, it's just, it could happen, but if you had to play another rank 5, it would probably be Constellar Pleiades and not a second Nova, honestly. I don't think it would make too much sense. Anyways, Auradon, Puzzlomino, Seeger, Anaconda, El Mirage, and then Relinquished Anima. By the way, the pronunciation of this card is not Al Mirage, it's El Mirage. I don't know why it's actually written with an A, it makes no sense. It should be pronounced the exact same way as the Shadal monsters, because it's actually an Arabic word, so I know that. Anyways, idea section, not much, honestly. Nibiru is always good in a deck like Cyber Dragon, because it's kind of like fragile when you're going first, and you don't really have a lot of layers, again, to protect yourself, and you're playing against something like a hero deck that can't really OTK in 4 summons. I mean, it kind of can, but you need the nuts, so it's not reliable, but yeah. Ghost Ogre, I don't even know why this is the year. More copies of Mega Fleet, I mean, why not? Genius, this is nice if you have Machine Dupe, because when you summon 2 monsters simultaneously, you get a search for a level 5 or higher machine. You can even search Jizukiru, but most of the time you're searching for Galaxy Soldier. And then we have, again, the other Infinity, Dingirsu, Dark Ruler no more. This is really good. I made like an old combo video where I was showcasing that with just Dark Ruler no more, Hurts, and just any other kind of big monster like Levinier, for example, you could break like a board of 9 cards on the field. It's ridiculous. You can do so much more than you think with Cyber Dragon. It's absolutely so fantastic. But anyways, Pot of Disparity, in case you don't really feel like you have to OTK that much and you want to increase the consistency, because consistency and power are like inverse proportionate. So if you play Disparity, you're going to definitely kill your opponent less often, since you actually have half damage. Mystic Mine follows the exact same logic. You're going to be able to play out more games because you won't be like crying against like a big board like turn 1, but a lot of combo decks can honestly play around Mystic Mine anyway, so it's not that great. And then we've got Evenly and more copies of Overflow in case you have to go first. So that's it. That's all I had to showcase you guys for this Cyber Dragon OTK deck profile. If you guys have any comments or feedback, let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it motivates me a lot to keep making videos like these. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.